Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the Movie Blog. This is your audio edition for Monday, February 20th, 2006. And this is the best damn movie-related podcast on the internet. And as always, I am your host. I am the editor and the founder of the Movie Blog. My name is John Campia. And joining me as always, sitting right across from me today, starting to my right, is Canadian comedian, regular audio edition co-host, Mr. Doug Nagy. Doug?
International friends, I salute you. I use a water-dowsing rod to explore the earth, and when it dips, I dig where it dips to find an ornate chest, and when I open it, I find on a scroll a poem proclaiming my love for all of you.
Oh, jeez.
Is it haiku?
Yeah, it is haiku.
And sitting to Doug's right and to my left is a regular Monday Roundtable guest, Mr. Darren Connolly. Darren?
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here, and I just want to tell Doug that I'd like my ornate chest back.
It's always about the ornate chest.
Yeah.
Well, listen, today we're going to cover a couple things. We're going to talk about the King Kong DVD release. We're going to talk a little bit about Scanner Darkly, a little bit about Jennifer Aniston. We're going to talk about the UMD PSP movie format. But to start... Oh, what's this?
Are we going to talk about Paris Hilton?
Oh,
Since the Friday show got axed?
No, that was Wednesday's show, dude.
That's right.
You ask that
Yeah,
every
sorry.
time
That's how we start
off
every
camera.
show.
Are we going to talk about Paris Hilton this
Because
week?
that's what the people want to know,
Yeah.
damn it.
It's true.
She still hasn't called me back.
All right, well, we're going to start off with kind of an interesting thing. Superman Returns, of course, is coming. It is probably my most anticipated film that I'm looking forward to. Mm-hmm. And largely because of Bryan Singer, who has directed all the X-Men, directed Usual Suspects. Yeah. Terrific guy.
And the Roth himself.
And yes, the standard of excellence, Brendan Roth. And but I had heard of this before.
Hearsay.
But it's come up again. There is this, around movie-making circles, this urban legend, if you will, about people who work on Superman films. And it is apparently the Superman curse. Now, here's some of the things that I read. This is how it goes back. The old Superman, who played Superman on TV, George Reeves, was found dead of a single gunshot wound. Then Christopher Reeve, of course, had his tragic accident and subsequent death. Margot Kidder, who played Lois Lane, had a nervous breakdown. And so there's been this kind of legend going around, that people who work, there's bad things. Richard Pryor, I guess you could add to that list.
Yeah.
People who've worked on Superman. Well, apparently it is now picking up steam with Bryan Singer's Superman, because get this, just in production on Superman Returns, producer Rob Burnett was mugged by 4 guys who broke his ribs, giving him a concussion and a black eye. Editor Adam Robitaille fell through a closed window and was impaled by a glass shard that punctured his lung and injured his spine.
Did he live?
I think so, yes.
Holy shit. They're cutting out the unusable parts and making him into a police officer for OCP.
And associate producer and cameraman Tom Stanley tumbled down a flight of stairs, fracturing his skull and tearing a pinky finger so badly it had to be partially amputated.
Oh, man.
Now, they say the same horse that bucked off Christopher Reeves is responsible for all these accidents.
Damn that horse.
I say turn him into glue, but that's just me.
What's with this horseshoe imprint on the guy's back?
It says Luther. Who named a horse Luther? It's our own fault.
It was just short for Lutheran. They could have said that.
That's right. I could have sworn that horse is Presbyterian.
Which one was pacifist again? I can't remember. Those are the ones we want, damn it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. If I was working on, I mean, I'm not a superstitious type, but if I was working on a set of this movie, I would
Call in sick.
I would call in sick.
But here's my question, though. How many accidents of this magnitude occur just on average on movie sets? Like, is this completely irregular? I don't know.
Darren, trying to bring rationality into the discussion.
I'm just wondering. You got, like, cranes and
On the movie Cheech and
effects
Chong
and stuff.
Still Smoking, half of the gaffers were said to have gotten high.
Right.
I don't know if that counts as injury.
I guess it depends on the nature of the movie,
Right.
too.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah.
No, actually, no, that's a very good question. I mean, on a movie set, I don't know if either of you guys have been on a movie set, and for anybody out there who has been, I mean, there is an awful lot that goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, there's trusses and rigs and cabling running everywhere and lots of heavy equipment.
You're taking Viagra, there's fluffers, all the lights, the screaming, getting erection. That's almost too much stress to bear. I'm sticking to commercials.
Oh, Doug.
And, yeah, I don't know how to follow that up. But... But there is a lot going on. And on top of that, you're in an environment where there's hundreds of people, like, running around all over the place, trying to get to where they need to be, running the cables, putting up trusses, putting up lights, moving cameras, like lots of heavy equipment, lots of trucks, lots of vehicles.
Yeah, as we've seen in commercials, they're all distraught over the state of downloading. So they're not working at 100%.
And when you have distraught people, accidents
happen, yeah.
Man, I just... I'm just waiting for somebody to come out, because those ads are so ridiculous.
I blame people downloading movies for all the accidents that have happened on the Star Wars
That's
set.
right.
We're all to blame.
I'm a little bit worried right now about the fact that we're recording these audio editions, and now that we're entering the world of filmed entertainment, we might be apt for an accident or two here ourselves.
Of course it would be an accident. No, Darren, don't worry about that large sandbag that we have positioned over your head. That's keeping my chair upright.
Why are the vultures already on the fridge?
Then again, when the only movement we actually do is to pick up our glass of Coke, not a whole lot can go wrong.
We're going to have to start smoking flammable objects.
Yeah. I think it's true.
So I'll be curious to see what else. No, actually, that's a very good question. What else happens on the sets of these things? Lots of accidents happen all the time, but man, falling through a closed window. How do you fall through a closed window?
You're drunk.
Like, you don't just stand there and then suddenly, oh, I'm falling, and then go through a plate glass window.
Maybe he thought it was open. It was very, very clean, and he was trying to jump out of it Dukes of Hazzard style. And I don't know.
That's happened a lot.
How many people can say they've been fucking impaled and live?
Impaled, punctured their lung.
Yeah, that guy's gonna have a story.
Another guy fractured his skull, tore his pinky so bad it had to be partially amputated.
Ugh.
This is not funny. I mean, we shouldn't be laughing
it's not funny at all.
at these people's
No.
pain or anything like that, but
we are.
But we are. All right, let's move on.
Nonetheless, we are amused.
Let's move on to item number 2. It has been announced, or at least the word is going around. There's a French DVD company that is saying that it's official. The studios come down with this. That Peter Jackson's King Kong is going to have 3 DVD versions released. Now, I'm a big Peter Jackson fan, but I really hate this multiple DVD releases. But we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
But it does bring up once again the point. Now, apparently, there's going to be a bare bones single disc version that's going to have the theatrical release.
Right.
There's going to be a 2-disc version that's going to have a ton of extra stuff. And then there's going to be a third version that's going to be 3 discs.
It's full of sand.
All the extra stuff, plus the extended version of King Kong. So, the 3-hour and 40-minute version, or the 3.5-hour version of King Kong.
They have an extended version of a movie that's already that long.
Dude, look at Lord of the Rings.
Well, Lord of the Rings.
The extended version of the final one was what did it end up being? 4 hours and 10 minutes.
But they said the biography on Freddie Mercury's life was longer than his life.
And also, Lord of the Rings was based on like 1,000 written pages worth of material, whereas King Kong is based on another movie that was only like an hour long or something. Or
an hour and a half, actually just under an hour and a half. Yeah, I mean, somewhere along the lines, Peter Jackson forgot how to edit.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Peter Jackson fan. I know right now there's a lot of Peter Jackson acolytes out there going, "Woo," but it's true. I mean, King Kong, woo, yeah, you like that, did you? King Kong.
I thought I could hear them when the wind is soft.
King Kong, I mean, it's just flat out. King Kong was too long. Mm-hmm. It was too long. The first hour, easily, you could have accomplished, we said this before, you could have accomplished all of the character development and set up all your storylines in that first hour with 30 minutes. You could have easily cut a half hour out of the film just like that.
Right.
Last 2 hours were a lot of fun, but when you start off so grindingly slow, it was hard to pick up and get moving with it. Having said that, that's a separate issue altogether. So now we come to King Kong. The DVDs are coming out. What I have always said, and I'm bringing it up again, but the story justifies it, is I hate it when studios attempt to take advantage, and this is what it is. It is taking advantage, trying to take advantage of the fans, and the fans who are most loyal to you. Because the most loyal fans, when King Kong comes out, they're going to want to get it so they can watch it. But then 4 months down the line, when King Kong with the extra 30 minutes of footage and all the special features and blah, 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 and Peter Jackson scratching his ass with a Tickle Me Elmo doll, then they're going to buy it again. They're trying to take
stay out of
advantage
his bedroom. That's none of your business.
But then they're trying to take advantage of these people.
Right, but here's my question. Are they releasing, like, what is the release date for these 3 movies? Are they all being released staggered, or is he going to put them all out at once? Like, if he's putting all 3 out at once and you have your choice to pick one of the 3, then that's great.
That is fine. That's the preferred way to do it, if you're going to do it. But historically, that's not what usually happens.
No, that's true. I myself am not going to buy any of the 3 because I don't care to own it at all. But
yeah, no, and you bring up
me.
a good point. You bring up a point that I've made a lot. Look, I don't care if you put out 7 versions of a DVD.
Mm-hmm.
If you release them all on the same day and give your fans the legitimate choice of which of the DVDs they want to purchase, I have no problem with that. That's terrific. It's when they purposefully try to take advantage of their most loyal fans and try to get them to buy one and try to get them to buy another. Some people call it good business, and maybe it is. I think it's taking advantage of the people who support you the most.
In the future, it's going to be crazy. You're going to have 100-minute long movies, and you're going to have 100 releases, and you got to pay $1 for each minute.
Yeah, that would suck.
So this is a step in the right direction, because apparently, according to this DVD site, the bare bones 1 disc and the initial 2 disc with bonus features are going to be released on the same day.
Mm.
That's at least a step in the right direction. Because I remember when the Lord of the Rings stuff came out, it was like the movie, then like 2 months later the movie with a little bit, and then 2 months later the movie with a little bit more, and then 2 months later the full extended version with everything.
With the Golem doll included. And
then there was that version.
Yeah.
This is at least a step in the right direction, but still it bothers me that they're going to put out... Because, I'm sorry... This was done. No one's going to say, "Oh, they need the extra 4 months to put in that extra footage." No, they don't. They don't. They had it already filmed. They had it all. You just had to put it in.
Okay, one quick question: did they not release some sort of thing like Peter Jackson's production diaries on DVD before King Kong was released? Because I saw something in, if I remember correctly, in the video store that was like a DVD set of the making of Peter Jackson's King Kong that was being put out like before the movie hit the theaters, and now we have this release and the other. Like, they've already released some material, as far as I know. I don't know if you have that information in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the production, if I'm mistaken, and I will check this, but the production diaries were being released online as they were being done, much as the same as what Bryan Singer has been doing. And the Bryan Singer ones have been terrific, by the way. Blue Tights have been terrific, and Peter Jackson's were very good too, but those have already been released. I think they included them. I could be really mistaken on this, but I think they included those production diaries when they re-released the original King Kong, and I think Peter Jackson had some commentary on it or something like that. I could be wrong.
Right.
The point I was trying to make, though, is that this drives me nuts.
Yeah, and my point was they've already been releasing material already,
yes.
So here's just more and more and more. I don't know. I have already hit King Kong overload myself, so whatever.
All right, let's move on to item number 3. The new Keanu Reeves film coming up, the adaptation of the Philip Dick work, A Scanner Darkly. And people have been buzzing about this for a while. And I'll say it right out. I am not impressed at all. Nothing, not a single thing I have seen out of the trailers, and we're bringing this up because a new trailer has just been released for it. Out of the multiple versions of the trailers I've seen, the images and the storylines that I've read, nothing about this seems even remotely appealing. And yet, as I go around the web, movie gurus all over the place, most of which who are much wiser than I, granted, are like drooling over themselves for this. But like the animation style on this, Well, I'll hold off on that thought because you look like you're dying to say something.
Yeah,
here.
I think it looks awesome. Everything I've seen about this movie. Now, I haven't dived into exploring every aspect of the storyline for it, but I think the animation looks really cool, and the parts of the movie that they've shown on the trailer, I think, look cool. Like there's a cheese factor possibility that doing animation, especially animation over top of live action, can create. And I thought they've avoided that cheese factor very well. I thought the characters seemed very believable. They seemed to emote through the animation and everything that we've seen. I don't know. I'm personally very intrigued. Next to Superman, this might be the movie I am looking forward to seeing the most in the near future. That's me.
What's the other movie they did with this type of animation? Was it Waking Life or something like that?
I think Waking Life, they did part of it. I can't remember if they did part of it or all of it like that. I remember back in the day, they did an old Lord of the Rings
animated
film. Like actually, back in the 70s, they did this technique a little bit. Mm-hmm. There are two things that really bother me. Oh, sorry, you were going to say something.
Well, with this animation, everything I've seen before looked horrible. This actually didn't look too bad. And when they had some special effects, one of the things that I like about animation is you can get away with crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That maybe you wouldn't be able to do with even CG.
Yeah.
And they had one shot where there's a fellow with what it looked like almost 15, 20 eyes. Mm-hmm. And you're able just to put that in and still have people acting underneath that. Mm-hmm. So you get the I guess the Gollum factor where you have people really acting and then you just put the crap on top of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know that much about the story. From what I've heard of Philip K. Dick, he's a fantastic science fiction author. I really like Blade Runner. And Woody Harrelson and Downey Jr. Are huge.
I am not as big of a Woody Harrelson. I think he's really overbuffed, like overpraised. But I am a massive Robert Downey Jr. fan. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, I think if this guy hadn't screwed himself over as badly as he has with his career, I think we're talking one of the premier A-list actors in Hollywood. He's still young enough that he's got time to get back there again. But Robert Downey Jr. is the only thing in this entire film that has me even remotely interested. There's two problems I have. Number one, the story doesn't seem that interesting. Number two, and I mentioned this in my post, it just seems like yet again, here's Keanu Reeves going, is reality really reality? I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on.
I think my biggest...
Again... Go ahead.
It does bother me that Keanu Reeves seems to be the type of spokesperson for these types of movies. And why would you not get somebody else other than Keanu Reeves?
Maybe because he's the formula. Like this type of role, you put Keanu Reeves in it because people
recognize
him.
I can see that maybe
role.
if The Matrix went well... But by the third one,
but it did go well.
No, let's not have this debate again. But so I mean, that's the one thing that really bothers me. Is like, oh look, it's another one of these. And the other thing was, you mentioned the animation style. To me, the gimmick novelty factor of the animation wore off halfway through the trailer. It's
really?
Like the first 10 seconds, it's like, oh, this looks kind of cool. By second 15, I'm like, okay, this is annoying. This is getting old, and then by the end of the trailer, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much sick of this. This looks stupid.
Really? All I could think was, I can't wait to see an entire movie that looks like this.
See, I don't know. I think the whole style, and there's something to be said for creativity and trying something like this. Full marks to them for that.
Yeah, look at Sin City.
Yeah, exactly. Try something new. I mean, it's not exactly new, but it's being done in a different way than it's ever been done before, and used to a greater degree probably than it's ever been done before. Mm-hmm. But... to me, it is a style that works in sequences. You could do a fantasy sequence in this style, I think, this style of animation. You could do an entire segment. Like, for instance, Kill Bill. When they would use animation, obviously not the same kind of animation, but they would use animation in certain sequences to help tell the story, and I think it did it pretty effectively.
I hated that I really liked Kill Bill. And I know why they did the animation section, but I hated it.
I love the animation section.
I didn't like that they broke from the movie with animation.
Oh, see, I did, but it was once again, it was something different, trying something different, things that most people don't do. But this animation style, I think I'm going to be absolutely dreadfully sick of it by the first half hour when it's being used through the entire film.
Well, we'll see if they make good use of it. If you can come up with great effects using this, it makes sense. Also, if you do extreme, brutal, graphic violence, you're able to get with way more using this type of animation. That's why, even though I say I didn't like this section of Kill Bill, I understand why they did it, because you're dealing with a young child who's a hooker and who's killing people with a sword, and you couldn't get away with that. But you could. Somebody else has said that to me, and that's true. You could not get away with that with a real actor.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah. And, I think maybe it could just be a matter of how much people are willing to accept animation, because, like, in other cultures like Japan or other Asian cultures, serious animated film is already a widely accepted part of their culture, whereas in North America, not so much. In fact, I can hardly think of any serious animated film that didn't have some kind of Disney-esque hijinks or something to kind of make it less adult.
I hesitate to even call this animation.
Really?
Because of the technique.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they filmed this shot, and it's almost like saying you don't call a child a great artist who just took that trace paper and put it over another picture and then traced over it. You don't really I mean, it takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of skill. I hesitate a little bit to call it animation in its purest form, but I see where you're coming from. I just think the effect, the gaffy novelty of it is going to wear off real fast, and I think there's some Philip P. Dick fans out there who are going to praise it just because, even if it's crap. I don't know.
It's his movie.
We'll see.
I think those who can swallow the animation for the full length of the film will enjoy it, and those who can't, no matter how good the story is going to be or not going to be, are just going to say no.
Well, I just hope the story's good, and then we can argue about the animation after we've seen the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. But we're speculating here. That's what we do.
That's true. And we speculate well, John.
Let's move on to item number, I believe we're on item number 4 now. The new Jennifer Aniston film. I can't remember the last time I said I'm looking forward to a Jennifer Aniston film.
I've never said that.
Although I still really want to see Friends with Money. I'm dying to see Friends with Money. That looks really good. But the Jennifer Aniston with Vince Vaughn, The Breakup. I really laughed at the trailers quite a lot. I think Jennifer Aniston brings a lot of... I don't think she is one of the great actresses of our day. She plays a certain type of character and plays that certain type of character well. Not a lot of range. But she plays a very likable... When she plays that kind of role, she plays it very likably. The trailers for The Breakup, she basically looks like whatever her character's name is in Friends.
Right.
She seems like pretty much the same thing.
Rachel,
that's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same character. But
her haircut revolutionized the hair industry, John.
No, when is the last time you've seen so many women? Like, you walk through the mall, you're going to see 50 women that still emulate the Rachel haircut.
Yeah.
It was a movement.
It was
a great movement in hair.
I tried it myself for a short time.
You looked great.
I did. But you kept hitting on me, damn it.
That's private.
But this was interesting. I have never known... back in the second or third season of Friends, there was this very infamous poster put out with all the Friends cast laying on a bed with a white sheet, except Jennifer Aniston was naked.
Right.
Kind of half covered under the white sheet.
The rest of them weren't naked?
No, the rest of them were clothed, and she was like kind of under the white sheet. And that's the closest I think Jennifer Aniston's ever done to full nudity. But apparently now, according to the New Indie Press, in a scene, Aniston's character, Brooke, tries to win back her ex-love. She takes advice from a friend for a beauty treatment, which involves waxing all of her body hair off. When she wanders around the apartment, which she shares with her ex-boyfriend, totally naked. So, and apparently, it does go on that she does this scene
totally waxed,
totally
nude,
and totally nude,
totally right on. Nothing on this planet turns somebody into a slut like divorce. God bless divorce.
Oh, man.
Kruger bars across the great continent of North America are full of sluts.
Oh, Doug.
Those are broken dreams.
And when they're waxed...
Oh, good gracious.
The stakes are that much higher.
Built for speed.
Can I just say, though, that I'm sure fiercely in the minority when I say this, but I don't really find Jennifer Aniston all that attractive. Honestly.
You know, I'm sort of with you. I've never found her to be the hot goddess that a lot of people make her out to be.
I don't find her to
But
be
I'm sorry. If you and I were walking through the mall
Uh-huh.
and we passed that woman,
Uh-huh.
not knowing she was Jennifer Aniston, both of us would go, "That's an attractive woman." There's no denying she is an attractive
We
woman.
might say she's attractive.
Yeah, she is an attractive woman. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about that.
She's not like a Hollywood bombshell type,
Right.
but she's hot.
But I'm not going to clamor to go to the theater to get a chance to
No,
glimpse her
but
package.
like, let's say if you were dating Jennifer Aniston and somebody said, "Who's that new bitch that Conks is seeing? Is she hot?" I'd say, "Yeah, she's hot," and don't call her a bitch.
I don't know. And I think I can say objectively that I think my fiance is actually hotter than Jennifer Aniston.
Will you quit trying to rack up fucking BJ points on air? You're getting married, for fuck's sake. Don't waste these people's time.
I'm just speaking objectively here. That's
Jesus Christ, Darren. I won't have it. My mom makes the best casserole out of any mom on the planet.
all right. I'm sorry for those who are sick of hearing how hot my fiance is. I apologize now. But
You ever get the feeling Connolly just uses the show as a propaganda machine to warm up to his future in-laws?
yes.
You know, that movie reminds me how great my future mother-in-law is.
I haven't said that yet.
Look, Larissa's a nice girl. We all like her.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
I'm just saying, if I had to choose between Jennifer and her, I don't know why Brad Pitt, the man who could have any woman in the world, spent so much time with Jennifer Aniston when he could
Once
have
again,
think
Darren.
of anyone.
It didn't look like he spent that much time with her.
I guess you're
And
right.
apparently he had a friend that said to him that he could do better.
And now he is.
And now he is. All right. Well, let's. One of the points I wanted to raise about this is interesting that when certain actresses get a little bit older, they tend. Do you think this is maybe a little bit of a midlife post-divorce crisis thing? Because some actresses I know, when they get a little bit older, they start doing a little bit more risque thing. Is it truly just wanting to be more artistic, or is it an attempt at still being relevant? Or is it just still trying to maintain that she's just used to being that hot sex symbol and she wants to maintain that? Or is it nothing more than, you know what, it was in the script and it read really funny and okay, I'll do this. Like, what do you think it is?
It could be all of the above, John. Who knows?
I think you just hit a point in your career where it's like, if I'm going to launch myself to another level of popularity, I have to do nudity. Like, really, I think it comes to that point.
Do you really think it's that simple?
Well, I don't know. Where's Jennifer Aniston's career since Friends? Like, I can't think of a movie.
I think she's got like eight in the works right now. She's done like 4 in the
Fair
last
enough,
2
but
years.
nothing that's a masterpiece. Nothing that's going to make her like the next big star to see in Hollywood movies. I don't think she's a draw for a movie. Not among the people I know. I don't know.
I agree. I don't think she's a draw at this point. She's still a small screen actress.
When somebody's establishing themselves early on, though, you don't want to start doing nudity necessarily, because then it pigeonholes you into females.
Sharon Stone.
Sure.
That's exactly what happened to Sharon Stone.
And with her, maybe she's like, okay, I don't want to do this, and she did Friends, and she has enough money to buy whatever she wants. Thailand, yeah. So now she's like, well, who cares if I show my tits? If I like the script, I'll do it. It's not a big deal. And in all sincerity, if you're an actor, you're pretty
much... And she knows she's got nothing to be embarrassed about.
No. So who cares? Like, if you're an actor, you're emptying yourself to the point where you're trying to take on this character anyway, so it's not a big deal.
The name of the movie is eluding me, and I can't believe that it is because it was a big hit and I loved it. But the last Jack Nicholson
I think
movie,
it's called this one or the Jack Nicholson one. Sorry, go ahead.
The Jack Nicholson one
Okay.
that I'm talking where Keanu Reeves was in it, and he plays name, and Amanda Peet was in it. Jack Nicholson's dating Amanda Peet, and then he winds up going for her mom. And I can't believe I'm forgetting.
I can't remember either.
And
Something's Got to Give?
Something's Got to Give. Thank you very much.
Right.
And I'm trying to remember who played the mom. A famous, super famous actress. And the name's eluding me. It's not.
Was it Sarandon?
No. It's not Meryl Streep. It's not Sarandon.
Lorenzo Lamas?
No, but anyway, the one, and I'll put it up in the show notes.
We know our movies here.
Oh, jeez, I can't. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. When we start doing this, we just do this live and off the cuff, and we got the cameras on, and we're recording. Sometimes we just draw a blank, and for some reason, she also starred in Baby Boom and The First Wives Club, and Diane Keaton. Thank you.
Yes.
I just had to say that. Diane Keaton did a nude scene.
Right.
in that. And that, I mean, obviously people were going, oh, I want to see Diane Keaton nude. But that was ballsy, and it shocked everybody, and it had a great artistic effect.
Did you see it?
Yes.
Oh, see, I didn't see it. And hearing that she's nude, and it would not make me want to see it.
No, but it wasn't, obviously the nude scene wasn't done to get the young guys in. It had a great artistic effect, and it had a great shock value in it, and it was really kind of cool.
looking at me like I'm crazy. Are you a big Diane Keaton fan? I don't know.
No, but there are some young dudes into Cougs, man. You shouldn't be so hard on them.
Sorry. Young dudes into Cougs, I apologize.
Okay, well, let's move on to the last item of the day, item number 5. This is one that we actually covered for Friday's audio edition, but we had a glitch happen, and we lost the audio. We recorded it and everything, and we lost it. But it's worth bringing up again. I have said from day one, and Doug, you and I talked about this in a previous audio edition months and months and months ago, that the PlayStation Portable, the PSP, with its UMD format movies, and everybody was talking about how this is going to revolutionize how people view movies. This thing's going to be on par with DVDs, yada, yada, yada. And I said from day one, and my favorite hobby is talking about how I was right. My favorite hobby, I have said from day one.
My favorite hobby is listening to you. Tell me how right you are.
Doug, I told you dating her was a bad idea.
My favorite hobby is quilting.
Darren, where's my bedspread?
But I have said from day one, and I said it on the show, I said this is bull. This is nonsense. This is a novelty gimmick. People do not want to watch full-length feature films on a tiny handheld device. In an era when home theater systems are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, I've got a damn 42-inch plasma, but that's a tiny TV now compared to a lot of people. They're getting 50, 60, 70-inch nonsense. People don't want the handheld stuff, and I said that. And lo and behold, this week, Sony has announced that they are not only cutting back, that, number one, sales are well below expectations. Well, no kidding, Sherlock. Number two, they are cutting back on the amount of films that are going to be released. And number three, even films that are already slated for release, they are cutting. They're trashing the entire project because we can't figure out. People aren't buying movies.
It's too expensive. How much is it for one of these movies? $50?
Well, no, not $50. But you and I did talk about this before. It's that you have something that's a little novelty like this. You release the movies on it for like $5 a piece.
They'll sell like hotcakes.
They'll sell like hotcakes. It's kind of cool because it's $5. But no, they were selling on standard par with DVD. There's $20 a movie,
Right.
with no extra features. With watching on a tiny screen that you can't watch on a large screen. It's not portable, movable from one media device to another.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's one factor we got to bring into the mix here, though.
What's that?
Is the fact that we now have the iPod videos out that are the iPod video units,
Yes.
which are allowing you to download movies and watch on your iPod. And maybe Sony is just saying to themselves, well, iPod's going to dominate the handheld portable movie market anyway, as far as I know they are. Why should we be bothering to push the PSP movies when everyone who owns an iPod is just going to watch them on their iPod anyway?
Well,
and they don't have to actually buy the actual movie in a store for the iPod. They can just download it off the web for a much reduced price. I don't think you're paying $20 a movie for your iPod movie.
That's because Apple was smart and went out like gangbusters with a reasonable price point.
Well, it should be mentioned at this point. I don't think you can get movies for the iPod yet at this point. But you do raise an excellent point.
They have TV shows that you can download
As
for
of
the
right now,
iPod.
you can get TV shows, so you know movies are coming down the pipe. The difference between iPod and the PSP, well, there's two key differences. Number one is price point.
Right.
When I can download an hour-long show, when I can go get Battlestar Galactica for what is it, $1.99?
Yeah.
An hour-long episode for $1.99?
Yeah.
It's $1.99. Why not download and watch it? So if they come out with full-length feature films on the iPod and put it at, say, like a $4.99 price point,
Yeah.
suddenly novelty becomes completely practical. Who cares? It's $5, and I can download this. Here's the second key difference, is that when you download iPod formatted, I believe it's MPEG-4,
Right.
video, I don't just have to watch it on my iPod. I can watch it in QuickTime on my computer. I can move it to another device if I want. When I buy that movie, it is not limited to just my iPod. I can watch it on other devices. I can watch my TV. You cannot do that with the PlayStation.
Right.
Look, even the iPod video will never be a full-force, legitimate movie viewing experience. It's just not going to be. But if they can price point it the way they've been price pointing everything else, and it's a beautiful screen. I mean, we've seen the picture quality on these iPod videos, and they are impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you can take novelty and make it next to nothing, people will jump all over, and you're going to make money on it. And that is where PSP, I believe, lost their foothold.
They really could have won the whole game if they did it where you can download the movies or, let's say, the TV shows and sold it at a reasonable price. But people got uninterested right out of the gates because maybe they bought one, they felt ripped off because they're like, oh, I got to buy this on DVD now to watch it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think weren't a lot of them, didn't they have it for a while when they were selling the PSPs? It would come with like Spider-Man 2 or something like that. It's like, you know what? I said from the get-go, that's a bad movie to put out because more than almost any other movie, people are going to complain about how hard it is to follow it on a small screen, like a big, wide action film like that on this tiny screen. Having said that, the movies that do sell on PSP tend to be the movies that target the 16 to 25-year-olds, your actions and your stupid comedies. And we all like our action and stupid comedies. So I think they're going to still be releasing these ones. But yeah, I think PSP really... They should have just... And you said this to me before once, Doug. PSP should have just put all of their focus and their marketing and their energy towards promoting the PSP as a gaming handheld console.
The best handheld gaming system of all time. They should have just really, really focused it on the games. And then maybe later said, oh yeah, you can do this as well. Because the iPod focused everything on music. And then slowly, once they got everybody having one, then they'll slowly release other things.
Yeah, and you had to be careful, I think, when any company puts out a gaming system of any sort, you had to be careful how many eggs you put into that basket, because gaming technology changes so rapidly, and people are only going to own a gaming system for so long, right? The iPod, I think, is going to be around for a long time. The PSP, who knows? Like a year or two from now, they put another portable game system from another company with twice the power, and whoosh, there goes all your movies that you bought for it too.
And
right?
the PSP as well, if they made it just a gaming system, maybe they would have been able to drop the price point to a more reasonable and affordable level.
Good point.
Because the Nintendo DS is gaining popularity like crazy.
Yes.
When I first heard of the DS, I thought it was just going to be a gimmicky piece of trash, but everybody I know who has one absolutely loves it.
Yeah. Yep. Now, pulling us back onto the movie front of things here, the PSP people are now saying they're talking about this new adapter they're going to come out with. And the adapter, you plug it in, is going to allow you to play the movie on the PSP and plug it into a TV so you can watch it on a TV.
But what's the quality?
It's going to cost $30 minimum for that fucking adapter.
Yep.
And it's going to be bullshit, because who's really going to want to hook it up?
And the question I have isn't even how quality is the movie going to be. That point is, my question is, if I'm watching on my TV, why the hell don't I just buy the DVD? Why don't I just watch it on my DVD with all the features and everything like that? So it's too little too late. It's too little too late. They should have never done this. Anyway, we are approaching 40 minutes, so we're going to wrap it up here. I want to thank my co-host, as always, Mr. Darren Connolly.
Thank you.
Mr. Doug Nagy.
Thank you very much.
My name is John Campy. I'm the founder and the editor of the movie blog. Come back and join us on Wednesday. And until next time.
Bye-bye.